In Boo, players win points by revealing as many ghosts of their color as possible in this spooky two-player battle for the graveyard. Every card in the game is made up of 3 square sections, which are divided by thin lines of a specific color. A square section typically contains a ghost or tombstone. Ghosts are either black or white. The reverse side of each double-sided card contains ghosts of the opposite color facing in the opposite direction. Each player must choose a color, black or white, and take the 12 ghost cards with the lines of that color, shuffle them, and place them as a deck in front of himself. It makes no difference which way up the deck is placed. Next, choose a start player. The start player takes the 6 graveyard gate cards, signified by the green lines, and builds the graveyard gate in the center of the playing area. The graveyard gate must be exactly as shown here, with 6 of each ghost color in these exact locations face up. Each player draws the top card of their deck into their hand, and the start player takes the first turn. The card in hand and on top of the deck are visible to all players throughout the game. Players place cards from their hand to the graveyard playing area to reveal as many ghosts in their color as possible. When a card is placed into the graveyard, it becomes the active card. The objective is to use the ghosts on the active card to scare the first opposite colored ghost they are facing that isn't facing back, resulting in flipping that card over. Active ghosts see through empty spaces, voids, and ghosts of their own color. They never see through tombstones nor through ghosts of the opposite color. Players take turns in clockwise direction and score at the end of the game when all cards have been played into the graveyard. Each ghost in a player's color is worth 1 point. The player with the most points is the winner. On your turn, you must place the ghost card from your hand to the graveyard while observing the following rules. A card must be placed such that at least one square side touches an existing card's square side. A card must never cover any other card. Either side of the card may be used, though it's usually best to place a ghost card with more of your ghosts face up. After a card is placed, scaring is resolved, then the active player ends his turn by drawing a card from his deck and bringing his hand back to 1. Scaring is the main mechanism in the game and is critical to flipping cards and revealing the most ghosts in your color. Each ghost on the active card will attempt to scare any opposite colored ghosts in the row or column of ghosts that each is facing in the graveyard. If the opposite colored ghost is not facing directly back, that ghost's card will flip over. Each ghost can scare one opposite colored ghost. The maximum ghosts on a card is 3, therefore a maximum of 3 cards may be flipped in a single turn. The active player may choose the order in which each ghost scares, as this may change another ghost's line of sight. If it is possible for a ghost on the active card to scare an opposite colored ghost, then it must do so. You cannot choose to scare. Careful, ghosts of your opponent's color on the active card must scare ghosts of your color as well. For each ghost of either color on the active ghost card, trace its line of sight outward until you find the first tombstone or opposite colored ghost. If you find a tombstone or opposite colored ghost that is facing back toward the active ghost, then do nothing and assess the next active ghost. Otherwise, pick up the opposite colored ghost's card and flip that card along its long axis so that each of its ghosts change in both color and direction. When flipping ghost cards, the ghosts should be in the same location as they were prior to the flip, except now they face the other way. Cards may be flipped many times, but may never be moved or discarded. In this example, player A places the active card and uses a black ghost to scare a white ghost directly across through a void in the playing area, then flips its card over. The white ghost in the middle of the card faces no opposite colored ghosts, therefore does nothing. The white ghost on the bottom of the card scares the first black ghost it faces that is not facing back, then flips its card over. The white ghost may not scare this black ghost instead, as it is not the first opposite colored ghost it faces. Continuing from the last turn, player B places the active card. The black ghost on the top of the card is met with an opposite colored ghost facing directly back and does not scare. The black ghost in the middle of the card cannot see past the tombstone and does not scare. The black ghost on the bottom of the card faces an opposite colored ghost and will flip that card over. The game continues with each player taking a turn until both players have played all their ghost cards. Players will not draw a card at the end of their last turn, as their draw pile will be depleted. Scoring occurs once at the end of the game. Each player counts the face-up ghosts of his color for a total score. the player with the most points is the winner. In the case of a tie, the player that took the first turn is the winner.